So hello and welcome back to another video, and today we are looking at the announcement of MotoGP 26. So we're going to do what I always do with these, which is to look at the trailer first, then head over to the website because that's where you get most of the interesting information, and of course I'll have both linked in the description below. Now, typically, I'd actually sit here and watch through the trailer first and then give you my thoughts. But with PlayStation France leaking it 2 days early, we've all seen the trailer a few times by now. So I'll just sort of jump straight to the points of the video that I want to point out that are interesting. So the first one for me is master the new physics. Of course, we always get that every year. You get slightly tweaked physics. For me, MotoGP 25 was an improvement over MotoGP 24. I'm definitely in the minority with that. Most people disagree with me and they think it's terrible. But a game that has come out recently is Ride 6, and the physics in that game are amazing. And my point here is going to tie in something they show later. I'm hoping it's based on Ride 6. If it's based on Ride 6, this will be the best MotoGP game ever. At least for me, that will be the best. It'll be missing some of that stuff potentially that I love in the retro games, like the challenge mode and unlockables and things like that, but you don't really get that in games these days anyway, so it's not something that I kind of expect in a modern day title. And this is the part here that ties into that very much for me, because you can see there, obviously we've got some new bikes, we've got some new tracks as well, but the big thing is that we've got Superbikes to train on, which I did think was kind of missing last year, because they had the training stuff, they had the flat track stuff, which a lot of guys do. They had the Ovales, which is an interesting choice because some of the Moto3 riders do that, but I don't think it's really something that they do in the top classes. Even a lot of Moto3 riders will train on a 600. That seems to be the one to go with, either a Superbike or a 600, depending on your category. If you're in MotoGP, it's usually probably a 1000 or the most powerful bike you can get, whereas Moto2 or even Moto3, like I said, you're probably on a 600. So that was always missing a little bit for me last year. I felt like that was like a big training aspect. But here we've got obviously R1s here, the brand new R1 as well with the new wings. And then we've also got the V4S, I think it is. And this, to me, looks like the model straight from Ride 6. So that's kind of what ties it in a little bit for me. It's like, if they've taken the bikes across, I hope they've taken the physics with them as well. I mean, obviously I know that's not exactly how that works, but it shows that there probably is some kind of overlap between the teams. So if there is, and they've actually brought the physics across with them, I mean, at least for this stuff, if this stuff has got the Ride 6 physics, it'll be pretty nice. But yeah, that's obviously the main thing really that's in this trailer is the fact that you can now train on Superbikes, and also there's the KTM also from Ride 6. Obviously it's not the cover bike in Ride 6. I believe there is also the Fireblade as well, but I don't think it's in the trailer. Next thing I spotted in the trailer that I want to have a look at is this part here, and this is obviously quite clearly a press conference. We've got Bagnaia, Bezzecchi, and Acosta. It does unfortunately confirm that the faces are not any better. I don't think I need to really comment on that. I think everyone knows the opinion of the riders' faces, and I have seen a screenshot that we'll look at later as well, which doesn't fill me with much confidence for the new riders that have had their faces done this year as well. But there's having the press conference stuff here, and then we've got a contract signing here. So I'm definitely getting F1 game career mode vibes here, which is a good thing, because F1 is like the biggest motorsport game, you know. The F1 game, F1 is huge, massive around the world. I mean, MotoGP is massive as well, but compared to F1, it's tiny. And that's one thing Codemasters always do right. They get a lot of flack for different things. I think actually quite unfairly. I don't think the guys that play that game realize quite how good they've got it. But this kind of stuff, it just spices it up a little bit. Even if it is a little, if this is just a cutscene and underlying it's the same, it's still interesting. And you can see here it's our custom rider by the looks of it, who is signing some sort of contract. I mean, he's already in KTM factory clothing, so whether he's re-signing a contract for that, I hope he's re-signing a contract for KTM, otherwise it would be a little bit strange to turn up in a different team's kit and sign your contract. That's about it in terms of what the trailer shows you. The trailer, like I said, is always very minimal. Obviously, the only thing left is the release date, which is the 29th of April. So nearly 2 months away, just under 2 months away. So similar to MotoGP 25, which I think was the 30th of April 25. So yeah, it's basically a day in it. So it's the same day, effectively. It's the Thursday of that week. I don't even have to work it out. I know it's a Thursday because the milestone stuff is always on a Thursday, such as this trailer. So we're onto the website now then, and this is what I like to call sort of the meat and potatoes of these announcements. You don't get much in the trailer. You get shown a few bits, you can kind of infer a few bits, but this is where the real information is, where they tell you a lot of stuff. So you've got your little tagline there about MotoGP and sort of the generic stuff. But here we go. We've got the full MotoGP 2026 season is here, and with the totally renewed physics system, you'll have more control over your bike especially in tricky situations such as banking and turn exits. Thanks to the improvements of the rider's movements and animations, as well as new weight management, you'll be able to feel even more connected with your bike. The new physics will also give you better handling through the corners, allowing you to make micro corrections to the trajectory, even during the exit, just like in real life. So there you go then. That very much sounds like the improvements with Ride 6 to me. That a lot of that stuff is the stuff that I felt with Ride 6, so it sounds like we might be getting those physics, which is got to be the most exciting thing we've heard in years. Surely got to be the most exciting thing we heard in years, because ultimately if that's good, then it's most of the way there. Like, it's a really good game. If we move on to the next paragraph, we've got the new ratings will show the strengths and weaknesses of each rider, and they'll be updated along with the progress of the real MotoGP Championship. So very much like the F1 game again. So another F1 game comparison. They've got, all their drivers have got ratings in the game. I can tell you from how the MotoGP game has worked in the past that under the hood, there is basically like 5 different, well, I think there's more than 5, it might be 7 or 8 different performance levels basically a rider can have. It's like champion, contender. I think there's one called bad, if you believe it or not. There is one that's genuinely just called bad. There's group, higher group, lower group, all these different ones. So it basically just gives them a band of performance to be in. And it's a combined bike and rider statistic, effectively, which is why you'll see in games like MotoGP 24, for example, Fabio Quartararo isn't particularly good, even when he gets on like something like a Ducati, because his rider performance is low because he's on the Yamaha. So in Grand Prix mode, he's got that low performance. But here actually seems like it's going to be more of a rating system, so it'll be similar to like kind of FIFA as well, and the F1 game where they've got the different stats, and yeah, if they get updated throughout the season, that's even better because you've got sort of more up-to-date form, because we typically don't really get updates to the rider performance very much. So yeah, if it actually does change throughout the season, that would be quite good. Continuing on though, we've got plus the more you race, the more you will unlock the new collectible card packs. The collection contains cards of different levels of rarity, including some exclusive artworks made by the famous Japanese MotoGP specialized artist Ranka Fujiwara. So I mean, I was literally saying a couple of minutes ago, it'd be cool if there's some collectibles. So there you go, I've got the physics, I've got the collectibles, I should be a pretty happy guy. Next paragraph looks like it's about the training stuff. So last year you got to race among the Tuscan hills and the Alps whenever you wanted to take a break from the adrenaline of the championship. This year you can come back to those idyllic sceneries, but there's more. You will get to race in a new location in England, Canterbury Park, with motard, flat track and mini bikes. But the news doesn't end there, as you'll be able to improve your skills and learn every MotoGP's track secret with production bikes. As well as other race-off vehicles, these new powerful bikes have been carefully reproduced in every single detail with dedicated physics and balance, which will make each manufacturer unique. So yeah, that's pretty much the vibe we got from the trailer, that each bike, each manufacturer can have their own production bike. So I guess you'll have the Aprilia as well. I'm actually just trying to remember what their superbikes that you call it, the RSV? You could have the Fireblade, like I said. We saw the R1, we saw the V4 in the trailer, we saw the KTM RC. Actually, again, the model number doesn't come to mind, but we saw the KTM one as well. So each manufacturer's going to have their own, and it looks like they're going to be played at the regular tracks, which does make sense because we did see that in the trailer. And at the heart of MotoGP 26, there is the paddock, a special place seen in every MotoGP race. There you'll navigate through the menus and gain access to the revised career mode. A classic race weekend is not just about the races, there are also press duties to cover. So at the new press conference, you'll be the one stating your objectives. Whether you want to publicly challenge your rival or instill trust in your team for the better bike development, the choice will be yours. How you act and what you say will affect objectives, so you better think carefully to build your path to glory. Also, the riders market is more cohesive than ever, as you'll have the chance to confront yourself with your manager and decide together your future steps, pushing your career in the desired direction. So obviously they say about the paddock, and it says you'll be able to navigate through the menu. So it looks like we're probably going to have the paddock be the menu, kind of like it was back in the day, MotoGP 15, MotoGP 14. You were both sort of in the pit lane with the menus on those games, and then with MotoGP 13 you had the career mode where you were sort of in your motorhome, and actually I think that was the same with like 14 and 15. So I guess it's going to be that kind of thing coming back, which is cool. It's a nice little touch. I think I have put that in requests for the MotoGP games in the past when I've done the videos on stuff we would like to see. So yeah, I can't complain about that. And the press conferences do kind of just sound like probably just a cutscene, or just a new place for some of the other options, because you could already kind of pick the development path and it's just a UI, like a 2D screen. Looks like you perhaps be in the press conference now, but again, it's a nice little touch, isn't it? It's a little change, and I guess the same with the manager, which I did say in the trailer would probably just be a cutscene. Next paragraph is just about arcade and pro experiences, so I don't think I'll even cover that one at all. It's just going to be very much the same. The next paragraph looks to be about online multiplayer, so we know you can't wait to test your abilities against players from all over the world. That's why with crossplay, improved matchmaking, and the full-size grid up to 22 players, everything is set for epic battles. So we are back to 22 players again this year. That obviously was missing in the last game. For some reason it went back to 12. I think it was 22 in the couple of games before. At least for PC, it was 22 players for the couple of years before. I think consoles may have always been on 12. You'll have to kind of remind me of that one in the comments below. But that was a bit of a disappointment for PC players last year, that we did finally get crossplay, which we wanted, but it meant we were down to 12 players, and that was a problem. Like even in doing our co-op career mode, we had to actually mod the game to get the extra riders on the grid. So that was always an interesting thing to actually have to do. But that looks like basically all the interesting information on this page in particular. It talks about the editors, but again, the editors will be the exact same as they have been for the last nearly on a decade now, I guess, isn't it? It's 19 was the first year they came in, so. But I can't imagine they'll have changed because they haven't changed in that long. So I've just had a look at the other page. Obviously, we were here to start with and clicked this. So I've just gone back to the original page, and it's very much the same information, the pictures to go along with it. But this is the picture I was on about earlier, where that's supposed to be Morera, by the way. So yeah, the faces haven't improved, unfortunately. That is pretty much everything that we do know about MotoGP 26 so far. So not long to wait, just shy of 2 months, and I must say I am quite excited because it sounds like they've overhauled the physics, sounds like they've done the kind of stuff that I care about a lot in these games. I already liked MotoGP 25, so let's see, is MotoGP 26 that one step better? But if you are new to my channel, please do like the video and subscribe. It really does help me out. And of course, it is a win-win for both of us, as I will cover any MotoGP 26 game news that comes out between now and release. And of course, when the game comes out, I will also be doing videos on that as well. But I hope you do enjoy the rest of your day, and I shall see you in the next one.